Good morning, and it's a good morning. I got some news. I got some good news. I got some better news, and I got some best news. Yes, I do. I do. First, the good news. You know how our ships run on Terran technology? It's a 5, 6, and 7 uh, dimension technology that makes use of Terran power from the planet. Okay, that's good news. The better news is one something outside got the dogs riled. The better news is I know that a ship can transfer energy and restart a cycle of energy that will build up to its capacity. One ship transferred directly to another ship in a beam, as in a laser beam or something. Okay. Think of something like that, like the Star Trek used to shoot down a laser and fire phasers or whatever it is. They can transfer energy in that manner. Okay. Last night, there was a communication to me last night that there is an Arcturian technical chief that hit on the idea of transferring energy from some of our Terran XL ships to surface stations, which might be, say, this support ship out here could be a station. And a ship out in orbit could transfer this energy beam down to this ship and supply extra power, which would translate into a facility on the surface being ran by Terran Power. I don't know the size and number and the area coverage of this kind of situation yet, but this is something that they say wouldn't take any time at all to rig up on the surface once they come to the surface. Because it's all about Terran power right now, right? All their technology runs off of this Terran power. This Terran power is 6, 7, and 8 dimension power technology. And so now it's a whole new ball game. As far as we don't have to wait on coming to the surface on getting the energy grid system, Terran energy grid system, totally restored. We don't have to wait on clearing land down to the bare ground to redo this Terran energy on the surface. What it means is they can keep this Terran energy to themselves and just run their facilities on the surface in 6, 7, and 8D. And you may never even know what's going on. It's possible. I'm going to make it a doable in the council meeting at 1 o'clock. I've been told to take it to the council. I've been told let's make this happen today and start arranging ourselves on the surface now with council buildings, even if it's to take over and control a building on the surface that's already existing, and take in Terran technology to inside. You'd never know. You will never know until they decide time is right for you to know. What that means is, to put it in a very simple term, which means within the next 30 days, I can set up the surface council chambers, one per continent, and slowly develop all the rest within 30 days. In 30 days, we'll have council chambers on each continent on the surface of this planet as it is right now. Because some things may change. Hint. Okay? You need to know that. The next thing then is while these 30 days are being constructed, Terran Tech is being brought into these facilities. We're going to go ahead and start determining where the locals are outlined on the surface. We're going to take these outlines on the surface and start setting up local councils staffed with Terrans. The surface humans are going to have to wait to have representation because they've not been accepted yet. They've not been integrated yet. That's the bad side of the news, but that's the better news. And the best news is it's been forecasted that within the next 6 months, all of this will be completed. And any collapse that hasn't happened will happen within 6 months. Whether it has to be forced, made to happen, etc., and etc. I'm not asking you to do a damn thing. I'm not telling you you're going to have to do a damn thing. I'm telling you what we're going to do with you or without you. If it's without you, you'll be ostracized. You will not be allowed to participate in the Terran system that's going to be living on the surface in less than 6 months. Because we have to staff these facilities, do we not? The Terran negativity they figured out a way to block the Terran negativity to a facility. You won't be able to go in if you're negative. You won't be able to go near if you're a negative. The same way they did with blocking the Anunnaki and Draconians from coming close to any part of inner Terra and some subsurface colonies. The same way. You have to have Terran Tech to do that. And if they do that, surface humans will not be negatives, will not be going anywhere near these facilities because it'll be a termination event for yourself that you will do yourself simply by walking up to it. That's your choice, right? Please do so. Please do so. Now, that's the best news I have heard in 3 years. That is the best news I've heard in 3 years. So I'm gonna put this in the chat, or I'm gonna make me a Word document. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a Word document. That's how I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna post this Word document on the forum, or part of it. I'm gonna put part of it on the forum. Let's see. I need to. What do I need to hear? Let's skip. Oh, I need a new page. That's what I want. A new page. News and announcements. That's what I'm gonna call it. Ooh, I need to be black. Yeah, leave it red. News and announcements. Now go to black. This is some good news. 1, can transfer power and restart, reignite. If ignite is the right word. Terran Power. Ship. I didn't know that before, that they could send power from one ship to another ship and restart it and make it self-perpetuating. I did not know that. And also that it would fill its own, the system that they use for storing this energy. And it keeps building it while it uses it, and it replaces itself all within one system. Then leaves the ship like fuel or exhaust or anything like that. It's reused. It recycles itself. So this Arcturian, I don't have his name yet, came up with this idea yesterday sometime. This Terran Arcturian, I should say. I'm kind of excited. I am. I ain't gonna lie. Because this means the difference. This Terran Arcturian came up with this idea of stationing ships like this support ship out here, that's out here today. Yes, it is. From an XL ship, a Terran XL ship, to support ships to the facility near each ship. This allows them to put Terran tech. This allows them to put Terran tech inside what we think is a 3D building. We'll see it as a 3D building, but we won't be. Surface humans can't get near this building. Remember what I just said a couple minutes ago. Because it'll have the same safe and secure technology that they had, keeping the Anunnaki and the Draconians from coming to some surface colonies, some subsurface colonies, and inner Terra. They'll surround this facility. How big, I don't know. This facility will be surrounded by that same technology. So any positive that gets too close, you basically get zapped, because that's what it does. You may not be removed from existence. You may just fall down dead. That's what happened to the Draconians that got too close to that technology in subsurfaces where there were Terran colonies. They got too close. They walked right into it, and they fell right there. And unless somebody went and cleaned that up, they stayed there, deceased. Then you just go right through there with an option 1 device and clean up the trash. That's what they do. That's what the tech's called. They call it clean up the trash. That's what it was originally made for. Now they use it as punishment as well. But the Terran safe and secure technology does the same thing, only in a different manner. It doesn't take the energy of every cell and every atom and dispense it out into the ether. It just, you cease to function. And therefore you cross over, I guess. I haven't delved into that. I don't really care what happens to a negative, whether they are option 1 and go up to the ether out of the central system, or they fall over dead. I could give a shit. This allows them to put Terran tech inside a 3D building and safe and secure that facility. Which means we're going to start with the continent. Every continent gets one council chamber. And it'll be initially staffed by Terrans, because you haven't been integrated yet as surface humans. You can't be in the council chambers. You can't even get close as long as they keep up the safe and secure. Wah. That's how I feel about it. And then when that gets just about finished, the same local you have in Terra comes up as a column, right? Remember how many times I've said that? That column coming up will be the local on the surface. That surface local will get a council chamber. That's how the plan's going to be all along. That's not no big change. Oh, I didn't capitalize that. It doesn't look right. There we go. Inside. That's not two words. Inside. Okay. And dot dot. So we're going to have more support ships. That's already being worked on as of yesterday. I had nothing to do with it. We can do this. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. Things started happening, and it doesn't take much to take a ship and turn it into a support ship. And we got a lot of medium ships they can turn into support ships. That's not a problem. Boom. Number 3. This is all going to happen within the next 6 months. 30 days on the continent council chambers, and the rest within less than 6 months. Terrans will be all over the surface, and you may or may not even know, because they're 6, 7, and 8 deep. The entire question was Terran Power to supply their Terran tech. Now that's been answered. They don't even have to do the ley line crap, which they probably will do eventually, but they don't have to now. They can stop right where they are for the time being and put all their focus in on these ships and these support ships, and then basically gutting out a facility on each continent to become the council chamber for that continent. And then we will decide how the locals will run up through and where the local lines are on the surface. In other words, there's no more countries. Bullshit fucking countries and their governments. As many governments as there are countries, etc., and etc. It's bullshit. This is one planet, one world. It will have one world. Not that negative version that everybody talks about online, but you will have Terran style of life. And eventually you'll have all the benefits of that life. That is the goal. That's the goal. If you want to keep your cultures and your ethnicities and all that, keep it to yourself in your home. All this talk of this group and that group and those people and this people and those people and all that kind of shit. Law 5 and others will apply same as Law 1. You'll learn not to do that shit or else. What's the first law of Terra? That you will obey all the laws of Terra. In all their twists and meanings and turns that they have, because those 4 laws covered everything for millions of years. We added the 5th law, the dereliction of duty. And now there is nothing that escapes the 5 laws of Terra and the 5 rules that help surface humans when the time comes. This will all happen in less than 6 months. I would have opted for faster than that, but that's for now. That's faster than what we were looking at within the year. Now we're looking less than 6 months of this year. So this is January. So we're talking June. In other words, by June, Terrans will be on the surface. Actually, they'll be here before that, installing Terran tech, designated buildings that are changed. Basically, they'll be gutted and redone by June. By June, it'll be fully functioning. That's what I'm going to say. So after June, if they're fully functionable by June, then after June, what hasn't collapsed will collapse. It'll be made to collapse because it'll have to be collapsed. Because you can't have this negative bullshit when you have Terrans right there. So each local will be in charge of any remaining negative things deemed by Terra eradicated at the local level. It's all consuming. I don't give a shit damn who likes it, who don't like it. We're beyond all that. We're beyond compromises 3 months ago, or whenever it was that they decided it while I was in my absence with the planning. I think this is great news. I was looking at within the year. Now they're wanting to be on the surface in less than 30 days if they're going to have the one on each continent. That's less than 30 days. One on each local. Each local will have one. Locals are not based on population or nothing else. Each local is based upon the region below it, all the way down to Inner Terra where that local is. And there is some levels of Inner Terra, so you've got a lot to consider as to how you draw those lines up as a column. They're not flat or round. They're all shapes and sizes of locals. So I'm not the one to figure all that out. They'll figure all that out and let me know. And eventually I can get a kind of a map of it on the surface. But it'll include the oceans. It'll include everything. Some subsurface colonies out in the ocean will become part of a local that has surface and surface humans. Oh, y'all ain't never thought about that, I bet. I have. I know where some of these locals are out in the ocean. Some of y'all know where some of these locals are out in the ocean. If you've been paying attention the last few years to the government, to other organizations and individuals that have such interests, they're everywhere. They're in your lakes. Just about every major lake has a colony of some sort. You'd have to drain that lake for them to be exposed, because they may have a tunnel that goes deeper than that lake. I'm just saying, every lake of a decent size probably has a colony already, and you'd never know it. You can't see them. You can't see most of them because they're higher density than you are, and you can't see 5D and above. That's how I have a ship out here right now, and trying to carry on a conversation with one of the individuals while I make this video. I think this is fucking news. This is news for everybody, for a long time. By the end of the year, we could look like a different world as far as how people act, things that are happening, etc., and etc. Constantly changing now. It's what we've all been working. That's what we've been working on. Somebody asked me yesterday, do I have any compassion for the negative people? My reply was quick, fast, and in a hurry. Do you see compassion coming from them to everyone else? Do you not realize that they have hate? Do you not realize it's not just a matter of how to do things, it's a matter of intentions and what's behind it? I said, if you look at it politically, you have a negative party versus a negative party. When you look at religions, it's all negative. When you look at corporations, it's all predatory. All those things must be eradicated. And if you go with it, you go with it. Am I compassionate about that at this point in time? No. I'm passionate about getting the job done. That's my duty for Terra. If you go because you are of a negative, the majority of you is negative, and you end up being eradicated, that is your choice. And some of you, I know, can't change. There is no rehabilitation on surface humans. It's never worked. It never will, as far as I care. It's not my duty to worry about, can you be changed anymore? The last 2 years have taught me that. Basically, you taught me that. Just sitting back and watching y'all from where I sit every day as a Terran Council leader, watching the surface and its activities, where you have a group of people saying, oh, this is getting better and better and better and better. From where I sit, I don't see it. I don't see that at all. Most of it's just words and nothing else. No actions, no deeds. You still have a predatory nature. You still have a control nature. And you still have manipulation of those that support the negative to not give a flying shit. Is this the right thing to do or not? Hence, you're negative. And so I do not care or be compassionate over your outcome whenever it comes to you. How's that? That answers that question in full and total, I believe. Good cup of coffee, boy. And it's cold in the house. It was. It was 18 degrees. It's right at sunup. I don't know what it is. I've stayed in the house. I got my big electric heater on. I got the house turned up 1 degree. And I've been happy since last night. All this pushing I've done to get something done, and somebody hit a stroke of damn near genius with this idea of the Terran XL ships and the support ships to fuel the Council Chamber Terran technology. And once they have that, they can continue as they are at a little slower pace on the restoration of the grid And that everything else will not depend on the restoration of the Terran Energy Grid. To get rid of the positives and bring forth Terran law and order to a surface world that is mostly dereliction of duty law 5 and violation of law 1. The majority, you're in serious deep shit and don't even know it. So am I compassionate about that? No. I'm passionate to get it done. And I want it as soon as possible. As soon as anybody on Terra can make it happen, that's what I'm for. You can hoop and holler and declare your faith and religion to the world all you want. Please do. Please support this government. Please do. It helps us know who you are. And it's being noted. It's being noted what you support. Those of you that support the government in all its negative controlling and manipulations of deception, it's being noted. If you are of a religious mind, it's being noted. I'm not saying don't be spiritual. I'm saying don't be religious. Don't be religious. There's a huge difference. They are never and have never been connected. That's a myth. If you studied, as I have studied before I ever become this, whatever it is I am now, I'd have to think on it. But I have walked a spiritual path since I was 13 years old. That was devoid of religion because I saw it then for what it was when I was 13 years old. And I will soon be 63 in March. And it amazes me how people buy into the verbal garbage spewed by people that seem like it, that don't even have a mind. It's like a hive of bees, all with the same thoughts and intentions, and don't have anything separate. And they actually spur you. Oh crap, the word spurn you. You know what I'm talking about? Where you don't want to be a part of that anymore, and you start catching hell from all those little hive members. It's like they're the Greys or something. They work on a hive mentality. Religions work on a hive type mentality. Everybody thinks the same. They swear up and down that fictional shit is truth. And they've never seen a fucking thing. Thousands of years of that. And you still buy that shit. No, I have no compassion for them. I have none at all. If they were all to be, option one would be better, which means they wouldn't be a soul to be reincarnated that ever had that kind of thought. Why should it be? Let Source pull it out of the ether, what it wants and what it doesn't want. Doesn't mean we have to have it here. Some people say, well, you have positive, you got to have negative. If you have negative, you got to have positive. Really? Seems to me that there are entire worlds that have no negativity on them. And there are entire worlds that are full of negativity. That's why you have negative species come from these worlds. That's why Terra seeks total annihilation of the Anunnaki and Draconian empires. And they do not care if there's any survivors left anywhere that have a change of thought or a change of life even, or a change of mindset. These are 4D, 3 and 4D beings that are just as negative as, or more so, than some humans. But then there are some humans that are more negative than these entities, these beings from other worlds. You deny it? You have humans that participated with the Draconian see a car in these nests underground. They were eradicated if they were within when we eradicated the Draconian Siakar and all the victims, because there's no saving these victims. That's been proven. Your mind is gone when you've watched friends and families and neighbors devoured in front of you. Your mind is broken. And that's why everybody looks at Charles Lund, the only one that hasn't broken that we know about in the history of them being on this planet. He's the only one that they know of that didn't break. And they're unwilling to take a chance with anybody else unless they present themselves accordingly. And how that is, I don't know. I know how I could decide if somebody was positive or negative. How do you determine if somebody's mind has been broke? I'm not at that level on that personal basis right now. That's for others that have already done such things. I'm not a medical person to tell you that these people are or are not savable. So I have to take their word. If they say they can't use Terran tech in medicals and repair a mind that has suffered that much, if they say they can't do it, it can't be done. It's as simple as that. They can regrow your bones. They say they can regrow mine, but I'm not ready to try that and be that non-functional level of going through some sort of knee surgery again. I am unwilling at this time. There's too much going on. There's too much happening. And I will not take a break for it. Not again. At 2 o'clock, if everything goes right in the council chamber today, at 2 o'clock, I'm going out to the ship. And I'm going inside the ship. And I'm going to meet with a med tech. I'm going to meet with a med tech. And we shall see what happens at 2 o'clock. I've been inside the ship already, so I know that's possible. I wish there was a way to take what I see and what I know and transfer it into this computer system I've got here, to this laptop here some kind of how, and then put it online. I wish somebody in the text of Terran text would come up with that, a way to do that, or a way to tie in a crystal, a living crystal with this knowledge into surface human tech. So you can see this now. They have nothing that ties into a living crystal, by the way. Nothing. They can protect them, but they can't tie in to data. That takes an individual. Even at their levels, they do not have a system or a method that's better than the neurological system of a being to tie in with a living crystal. And I mean a real living crystal, not an activated crystal like mine. You can't tie into those. I mean, you can't tie in technology into a living crystal and do it that way. So I don't know how it's going to be done, but I wish the hell it could be done today. I don't even know if that would help wake up people. I have no idea. But it would be proof. Or then I'd have some damn fool say, oh, it's AI, or it's this, or it's that, or something we don't even know of. It must be that, you know. That's why they're doing this shit. You don't know what's real and what's not anymore when you look online. You have to decide, do you trust this information or do you not? And if it's you trust it when you should have not, there's no wonder people are like they are on the surface. All these videos, let's, for an example, all these videos showing Trump signing pages and pages and pages in little folding books that he hands off to somebody, takes this one and hands it back off. Those are not laws. They can't become laws unless Congress acts on each one. It takes a law to make something a law, not an executive order. If you knew your civics well enough, you'd know that. An executive order doesn't trump written law. Then again, we have Trump as president. If Trump can stop everything Biden done, then the next president will undo everything Trump done, and that's what they'll spend time doing from now on. One undoing the next one, undoing the next one. Is that how y'all want to live? You don't know what the law may be every 4 years, if that's how things can be done. You know how huge it was to get Law 5, dereliction of duty, pushed through the Council of Terra after millions of years of only needing 4? And then having to come up with 5 special rules to try to give time to get used to the 5 laws of Terra for the surface humans. Trying to buy them a little time when the time comes. By coming up with statements that are not in the 5 laws that can help them understand certain things are not going to happen anymore. By specifying the rules. And that may be flawed and not have enough specifications, because a surface human will find the loopholes on purpose and exploit it. They do it with every law we have. That's undeniable. It's also a sign of negativity, which Law 1. You do not violate any of the laws of Terra. If they can't even specify what exactly was the violation, Law 1. Because you're a negative. Otherwise, you wouldn't be trying to exploit anything, especially in some sort of predatory manner, controlling and manipulation. Those are the three things Terrans use to help assist them in deciding if an action is negative. Is it predatory? Does it seek to gain control? Does it manipulate others that give you the control and predatory nature, such as profit over another human being from their actions that basically they're forced to do if they want whatever it is that you've got, or product, or whatever, or ideology, whatever the hell it is? Doesn't matter to Terrans. Those are the three things that they may be more, but those are the three that I know of as to how they judge a negative, besides the darkness of their being. And you may not even know you have this darkness. You may think you're full of light or some such crap. Yeah, I said it. Light is about as much crap as saying something's dark. But what I'm saying is, you don't know if you're dark or light if you have a certain ideology. And I'm not picking which one. I'm saying any ideology that makes you think or believe what you're doing is right when it is, in fact, not right. I think some people can't figure it out. They have to be told. Because you're not as smart as your grandfathers and your grandparents were. Let's just call them grandparents. You're not as smart as your grandparents. And most of them are not as smart as the ones before, because without tech, you'd be dumber than dirt. If you had no tech to help show you something or tell you that it's right or wrong, you wouldn't fucking know. I do believe that. You take away phones and computers from people, most would end up dying because they have no way to learn anything. They never learned anything in school. Most of them. They learned how to pass a test or not. That does not mean you're educated. If you can't apply what you learn, you're not educated. That's what I think. You have to not just be able to do what you were taught in school. You have to take that knowledge and build on it every single day in applications of your duties through life and your responsibilities to your family and loved ones, as well as society. And I would be no joke to say half or more of the surface population does not do any of those things. Am I compassionate about if we lose half of a population or more? Not a damn bit. I have no empathy for that shit. Does that make me bad? I don't think so. If it was, I do not think I would be where I am today. And I wouldn't have passed that evaluation on the 22nd. It still has my gut twisting at the implications of having passed it. Yeah, guts are twisting over some of this stuff. What it means and what I'm going to have to do and what that might mean. And then the length of service of each council leader. Gut twisting information. How the fuck? How the fuck, huh? How the fuck when we don't even have that kind of life expectancy right now? And I know my health. And I have not the best health. Last night my nerves were so tore up between the pain meds for my back and everything else that they're supposed to see about today. Last night I was in the bathroom twice, puking my guts out. That is not the best health. 5,000 years of that, if I can't be cured, not just treated, but cured. 5,000 years of that. Cut my head off now. Fuck. The implications of what things mean now to me are so different from anything I've known prior to 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. What those things mean today and what I know today. And I learn shit every day still. I didn't know ships could charge or even recharge another ship with Terran energy, and that it can build itself just running through the system of Terran tech. A little bit of power can build itself into a full loaded powered ship. One XL ship can blink an entire planet. Do y'all remember that? A smaller planet like Earth, one Terran ship can blink an entire planet. That's the power these ships have. One XL ship can tow a planet like Earth somewhere else. Did you know that? 3 ships are towing the planet that's going to become the new Maldek to the solar system. 3 XL ships. There's 5 there to tow a little faster than those 3 ships can tow it. 5 ships towing a world. It's going to be about the size of Jupiter. They're saying its comparative size is Jupiter. What in the hell? But one XL ship could tow Earth somewhere else. You get some asshole on the ship that's negative and wants to end life on this planet. So they tow it without encapsulating it in safe and secure technology to keep the atmosphere and everything. And another ship that does the actual orbiting of the ship inside the safe and secure to keep everything as it should be. I don't understand all that physics shit. I don't understand it. But I know they got the technology to make it happen because they do it. It's not new to them to move an entire world somewhere else. It's not new to Terrans to do it either. By Terrans, I mean all the people of Terrans. It's not new to them to do these kinds of things. When you think about the things that are happening in Inner Terra now, and what we think we know, which is basically negative technology, if we knew what the positive 5, 6, 7, and 8D and 9D Arcturians of Inner Terra and subsurface colonies are doing, the surface humans are not even intelligent enough to be considered welcomed into the Council of Terra. Why the fuck was I selected to be the council leader? if you don't see what this is like compared to what life is like on the surface of Terra today, you don't need to be here. My empathy would be towards putting you out of your misery now. This is the most humane thing to do. Remember, I said that. The most humane thing to do would be to put some people out of their misery now. Their misery of negativity. Because they're not even intelligent enough to realize it, that they're negative. They don't know the difference between negative and positive, and some think they are positive. There's no doubt in that. Some religions think they are positive. Some religions think they're so positive, it gives them the right to eradicate another person who is or is not of some kind of religious faith. You can take it from that point forward and figure out why religions are negative. And that's if that's all you knew, it would be enough. But that's not all of it, is it? Mutilation of sexual organs, the degrading of the female, and the acceptance of a male-driven society. I know I haven't said it, but do you know 75% of the council leaders of Terra have been female? 75% of the council leaders of Terra have been females. Even in our own known history, the indigenous peoples, most of their people, their leaders were women, even in Europe. And sometimes in Africa, I know that their indigenous people had women that were leaders, both in political, religious, and spiritual movements, etc. Where did this idea come from of men being superior to a woman? No Terran will have an answer or action like that. They would deem it unworthy of an intelligent being. I can tell you that right now. I get questions on it all the time. And I'm like, I can't really explain it to you. I don't know how. I'm not sure I know the hows and whys of that. I know where it came from. I know where it came from. It's not even worth a conversation. I know about when it became such a thing. I do. It's like monogamy. It's like the idea of monogamy in our civilization today, or some countries even. Because not every country does monogamy. Do you know monogamy being pushed upon men and women is barely 300 years old? When people came to this country from Europe, they were not monogamous people. Not even the pilgrims had monogamous relationships in total. They cover that up, don't they? Because they want to push and focus on monogamy. When the numbers of women on a biological scale, the women are born 3 to 1. As a minimum, 3 to 1. This is the usual numbers of women in a population. So no wonder women cheat against another woman with a man, because there's not enough men. And with the population numbers of positive and negative, the number of men that are going to be positive for those women drops even lower. Think about it. That's all you got to do is think about it. Just a few minutes. If you have that understanding and you know that, you could almost say half the male population is neither worthy or intelligent enough to hold a monogamous relationship. And the women even less. Because there's too many women compared to the men as a birth rate. 3-1. Monogamy is not a human thing. No matter how much it's pushed, it's not successful, is it? The whole idea of marriage at the society level is not successful. I'm just using that as an example. I'm going to try to put this stuff right here into that I wrote, and that's not all of it, but into the chat, because I want it somewhere when people look at this video, if they do, even in the future. Let me make sure it all is going to get printed. Okay. Ship to ship. This one, I probably am not going to get it all printed. I'm going to have to break it up. So I'm going to break it right there. Copy. And paste it. I should have wrote this before I started the video. Stop at the building, 3D building. I don't know if I can get the rest of it to take in a chat post. And paste. Oh, yes, that will. And then the last one is, it's not a question on the last one, because it's short. And paste. And click. Okay. That's all I added. And I'm going to go up here and save that. I'm going to put today's date on it. I'll back it up a little bit and call it 10:55. Because I've already been on here an hour. Holy crap, I've already been on here an hour. I could go back a whole hour then. Because I started talking about that first. I think. I don't remember what I set the time at. I'm going to put 10. I should have left it at 10 to start with. Either way, I'll be inside this damn video. All right. Let me save that. I like dates and times. If I go back and start having problems trying to remember something because I've got so damn much anymore, it's insane. Sometimes I have to sit and think a minute to remember something because there's just too fucking much. And now I'm getting clicks. As soon as I start thinking about something else, I get more clicks from somebody. 299 different peoples, if you count Drishun, have given me information, like a bequeathing or a copying or whatever. And this is you're opening memories, you're opening knowledge and information that you may or may not know anything about. Already translated in your mind and stored like you're some kind of goddamn supercomputer. And my mind is not the best in the world anyway. Most of my disability is in mind. How does that work? But like I said, 1 o'clock, I have a council meeting. If I'm done with that and back in time, we'll have a I have a medical appointment on the support ship. So I look forward to that. I look forward to it. Both as something to do with the Terrans, to not be in my home, to be out somewhere, to be myself and walk into the Terran support ship and receive medical treatment to my physical body, this physical body that you can see. It's going to be something. I don't even know the results that may happen. That may happen if it all is done today, or if any of it's worked on today. I don't really know if I have more information. So I'm going to stop this video right here. It's 10:05 my time. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes on the clock here. I appreciate y'all for listening and coming to watch my videos, whether you're doing it in the live or doing it in the future and gathering information. That's what I'm hoping I am imparting to you. And maybe when you know something in the future, you can say, Larry told us that. Sharing his information freely, as I always do. So that's all I've got to say for this video. This is Larry, and I'm out of here. And click.